Republican Congressman Thomas Massie has definitely not shied away from criticizing President Trump as well as other Republicans. We have another great example of this here. Representative Thomas Massie, according to The Hill, said he includes President Trump among the people who should tone down their rhetoric in the wake of the death of Charlie Kirk. Quote, I mean, there is a lot of rhetoric, and the president himself engages in it. He called it a hostile act to co-sponsor the Epstein resolution. I think that's ridiculous rhetoric. It's amusing. It doesn't offend me that he's over the top with the rhetoric, but some people take it literally, and he should probably tone that down himself. Massie has often been at odds with his party, refusing to back GOP priorities that would raise the debt limit, including Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. In response, Trump said Massie was not MAGA, and he has encouraged someone else to primary him. Quote, Thomas Massie, the worst Republican congressman and an almost guaranteed no vote each and every time, is an embarrassment to Kentucky, Trump wrote in one post on Truth Social in July. He's lazy, slow-moving, and totally disingenuous. A real loser. He added, never has anything positive to add. Looking for someone good to run against this guy. Someone I can endorse and vigorously campaign for. The feud has further escalated after the Kentucky Republican filed a discharge petition earlier this month on a resolution to release the Epstein files, an effort that is inching closer to a sufficient number of signatures to force a vote. Well, yeah, when we talk about bad rhetoric, we talk about saying stuff like the media is the enemy of the people. I mean, those are serious words. So I heard a lot of right-wingers saying that when you compare Trump to Hitler, when you compare right-wing figures who support Trump to Hitler, you kind of are tacitly endorsing violence against them because most people agree that violence was necessary to stop Adolf Hitler. But isn't saying that the media is the enemy of the people, isn't that something that can be construed as a tacit endorsement of violence by that same logic? What are we supposed to do? Just say, oh, the enemy of the people, whatever, it is what it is, we'll just coexist with them, Really? Really? By that same logic, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying I necessarily believe it is. But if you think that comparing Trump to Adolf Hitler without saying you want anything bad to happen to him is incitement to violence, you must surely believe that saying the media is the enemy of the people is incitement to violence. How on earth can you reconcile saying that it's not with saying, calling Trump Hitler, that's definitely inciting violence. So a brief shouting match erupted on the House floor Tuesday after a moment of silence following Kirk's death. I think that's supposed to say Wednesday because it was Wednesday that he was shot. Massie also said lawmakers need grace as they process the death of a friend. Quote, well, emotions are raw because a lot of us knew Charlie Kirk personally and had interacted with him, and so I give everybody a pass here, Massie said. When somebody passes, it's a very emotional moment, and I don't think you can blame anybody for what they say in the next 24 or 48 hours, but I think it'll settle down, and hopefully it settles down to a calmer place than it was before. Look, you can blame people for what they say within 24 or 48 hours. People still have agency. You don't just lose all self-control. Look, all these nut jobs saying that, Democrats and the media have blood on their hands. All these people blaming Joe Biden. There are people in Joe Biden's comments section on X blaming him for this. Yeah, they have agency. They're not just acting purely out of emotions. I can blame them for what they said. So I disagree with Massie on this, but I like that he is criticizing Trump. I like that he's telling him to tone down his rhetoric. He's 100% correct. So Kirk, the co-founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed Wednesday, and authorities are still searching for a suspect. Yeah, and I understand there's a lot of anger at the idea that they haven't caught the suspect either, because this person needs to be brought to justice. But at the same time, all these conservatives running their mouths saying, actually, the entire left and the entire Democratic Party wanted him dead. The entire left wants you dead for disagreeing with them. That is hyperbolic garbage. I saw Asmongold mouthing off about this, saying maybe something needs to happen to leftists in order to teach them a lesson. Just horrible, horrible stuff. I have not heard someone on the left, a prominent leftist, say such a thing about right-wingers, Republicans, anyone. This is total nonsense. So yeah, Thomas Massie, you're correct. Trump needs to tone down his rhetoric. Republicans should consider telling Trump to tone down his rhetoric. Write him a letter or something, not that it'll get to him. But for crying out loud, look in the mirror. Progressives look in the mirror all the time. Republicans just don't. Look, I call out disgusting, despicable rhetoric on both sides. You might recall that Keith Olbermann posted on X some raging rant calling Trump supporters not human. And I said, Keith Olbermann is totally wrong to say this. This is despicable. You don't just get to dehumanize people like this. That is wrong. That is wrong. So yeah, look in the mirror, Trump supporters. Look in the mirror, President Trump. The latter, I definitely know, will not. But yeah, anyhow, like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. These are just my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. This is the more the merrier, and I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.